God of War 3 music production plan is pretty extensive. Today we're working at Skywalker Sound in Marin County. We're working with the San Francisco-based musicians from the San Francisco Symphony, the San Francisco Opera, who are phenomenal. We're really fortunate to be working with legendary engineer Leslie Ann Jones. Tim Davies has orchestrated everything, and he's conducting from the podium.
That's pretty sweet.
He really knows the music, and he really puts his all into interpreting what the composers are after.
Really pointed, and give you that nice pop on the end of each group. Here it is. Beautiful, thank you.
The music originally comes in from the composer in what we call a mock-up, which is basically he's using his synthesizers and samplers and, you know, we call them fake strings, fake brass, fake choir, to assemble the composition.
And then once it's approved, it comes to me to translate that and put it on paper for the orchestra. It's damn expensive to have an orchestra sitting there, so my job is to make sure that everything's spotless on the page in their language. When dealing with an orchestra as a conductor, I think 75% of it is your rapport and how you can interact with the musicians, getting them to do what you want in a highly stressful situation, making it lighthearted enough that no one freaks out, but you got to keep it moving. Give me everything you've got on those crescendos at the end of each phrase. Here it is. They're a pack, and they need a leader, and they're all brilliant musicians, but there's something about when you put an orchestra together, they need that focal point, that one person that they follow. These are pretty nasty swells where you got the flutters and everything. Feel free, if it's going to be smoother, to hit the note and then start the flutter later. Okay, here we go. They can smell when you walk into the room if you can do it and if they're going to go with you. I've been lucky that, you know, they like me, and I've been here a lot to the ranch to conduct, and, you know, it works really well, and they're a great orchestra.
Originally on God of War 1, we had several composers, many of whom have remained with us through the God of War series. And the reason for this is not because one composer wouldn't necessarily be able to compose the whole score. It's because the variety that their different styles bring to the table is actually a tremendous advantage.
Why are there 5 composers on this collection?
Well, that's a question for somebody else who did the hiring, because I'm sure that any one of us would be quite happy to bump the other ones off and do it all by ourselves.
And a different alternate to that answer is the reason being is because each one of us actually have a very strong voice in how we write and approach music. But generally speaking, we don't clash in styles, and therefore what ends up happening is a happy salad of the different styles that we all bring to the game, but essentially we actually work very well together as a team.
Sitting with Stig and sitting with the whole Sony crew who have they have this thing in their minds called God of War. It's an entire world. It goes beyond just characters. It's a whole, they know how they want everybody, they want the players to feel. I think what ties my music and your music and everybody else's music in is the fact that the great people at Sony, from Stig and down, is they know when it's wrong and they know when it's right. And even though we haven't heard each other's music, it ties together amazingly just because it's run through this filter, and the filter is God of War.
Right. One of the great things about scoring for video games as opposed to film is that there's a tremendous amount of freedom.
I'm not constrained whatsoever by any convention at all, because I think a video game is not a film. And since we're not restrained by anything that's happening at any particular point in time, it's quite a free world to actually envision what you want to write and see it through to the end.
The music actually is not only on a par with film, but in some ways surpasses most films. There's almost a requirement, certainly an expectation, that there be experimentation and innovation in video games, that the music is somehow striving to do something new and something really fresh and powerful, which isn't always the case in film.
When it comes to raw power, I mean, this actually goes to another level than most films.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have to write music that must exist and take care of the atmosphere that you're in and add to the intensity of the battles that you're in. It's kind of carte blanche. You get to write these amazing sounding scores and have it backed by 40+ piece string section, 20+ piece brass sections. The sky's the limit.
We use a oversized brass section, so it's double the size of a normal standard orchestral brass section, just to give us this massive power and this huge low end. Guys that play low instruments, all they want to do is play low, and so we give them that opportunity.
You get to unleash and not hold back, because the game never holds back, never.
I talked to the orchestra and I said, if you have any moment that you have all of a sudden a feeling of lyrical beauty coming your way, ignore that completely and just go for the brutal, brutish, aggressive mentality of this score, and you'll never go wrong.
That's hugely fun. Yeah. And it's so much more fun to write bad music than to write, good music.
This is one of those games that actually lets you go all the way to the end of how big could it be, how nasty could it be. And it's great to do that. Of course, at the end of it, you just want to do a romantic comedy with some clarinets and...
That was really good.
At least as composers, we're being hired to do what we do, which is write melodic material, aggressive, edgy material that people remember. Think about when we went to go see your favorite movie as a kid, and you walk out humming the theme and you want to buy the soundtrack because it's such a great part of the experience, and that's what we're trying to do.
Is to get people to buy the soundtrack to GOW3. Yeah, I forgot. Good point.
We did just go down to the studio, and we saw where the game's at, and the game, as you probably have just played through to unlock this video, is amazing.
This recording session for God of War that we're starting today is the culmination of a lot of preparation. This is definitely the most complicated session I've ever put together.
I'm gonna go get a sweatshirt. We should go in the other room while we can, huh?
One of you here and one of you here. How close do you need to be? Here, just duck under the microphone. We need to take a couple minutes to readjust where things are. I'm a little nervous about this session, just the number of variables. We've got a lot going on. 2 actors at a time. We've got a lot of people going to be at the session. We've got facial capture, we've got teleprompters, we've got all kinds of stuff. It's a new studio. There's room for error, but I like to think that I've nailed everything down before we got there. But I'm definitely, my breath's coming a little shorter today than it normally does. We are moments away.
What was it, Kratos?
All I remember is what I have lost.
That is why you should give me the power. I understand its true meaning and
my character, I like to think of her as she thinks she's doing something good, but in reality, she's trying to take over the world.
Kratos, she is the key to our revenge. I trust you to do the right thing, Kratos.
You shouldn't.
Kratos, I found out, is a piece of me that I kind of didn't know existed. It's kind of a dark side that it really is fun getting a chance to explore.
I delivered your revenge on Zeus.
My vengeance ends now. I owe you nothing!
When you have the other actor in the room, you're able to come up with a rhythm. It makes it more real.
I really, really like it. It gives you a chance to play off of what the other person is doing as opposed to doing it by yourself.
We're getting so much from this performance that we wouldn't normally get. I'm totally stoked about it right now.
You owe me this, Kratos!
I owe you nothing!
Bravo! That's perfect. Awesome.
Excellent.
That was it. That was it.
I knew you'd come back. I've never worked with the prompters, and it's really freeing for the actor because, you're looking straight ahead instead of always, face down in the page, and it's really a cool experience.
Find the labyrinth! Ah! Ah! Please, help! Kratos!
One of my favorite things to do is scream. I really I don't know why. Maybe, no, I don't know why. I saw Zeus torture my father. I just try really a simple approach to it. It's bringing those words into your character and actually thinking a thought before it. It makes it more real. They called me a monster.
Beautiful.
Natalie was new. We had never worked with her before. She was an ace. She totally knocked it out of the park.
Many more variables than a normal voiceover session for a game today, and it went very, very well. I'm happy with how today turned out.
It's phenomenal. Phenom.
That's all that really matters is Stig is happy, and if Stig's happy, we're all happy.
Yeah.
Who is Hercules? Well, it was me for 7 years on TV, so this is a whole different look. I didn't quite have that look. I had kind of more gear on, and I didn't weigh, 4,000 pounds. This guy's like about 12 feet tall.
They called them labors. Ha!
There you go.
That was good. That was really good. Yeah. Kevin Sorbo was obviously an easy choice because he's Hercules, but not necessarily in terms of the way that he's played Hercules in the past, a little bit of a departure. Can we get, but this kind of brother,
yeah, more
seething?
But this time, brother, this time I will destroy you.
That's good.
In this game, he's a much darker brute. He's not the brightest light bulb out there, but at the same time, when it comes to war, he's brilliant.
The direction is more pissed.
Okay. As pissed as you can get.
The most valuable I can be is to take what the creator of the game has been imagining and seeing on paper for a long time and bringing it to life with the voice, and trying to find different ways to get to actors to achieve what he wants to do. Try one thing, if you would, Kevin.
Yeah.
Take the breath after stables, and then you can finish off the phrase.
Okay.
The most frustrating thing about doing voiceover is the amount of time you've got to do each line. You've got to repeat it, but you've got to also do it in so many different ways, so many different inflections, and you end up losing your voice.
Have you not killed enough of your family?
That's a good.
Good. That's very good. It was a slam dunk. He really brought a passion to the character. He was very professional. His voice was kind of running out. That's when he gave some of his best stuff.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Thank you. It wasn't the same Hercules, not even close to it. So it was a darker and more sinister person and more evil person to deal with and play. But from my standpoint, it was a lot of fun.
It's the way to start.
New day of recording. Very excited about it. Today we're doing Rip Torn and Malcolm McDowell. The game's based on Greek mythology. This guy's like the Smith god, and he's like
always the Vulcan.
Yes, exactly.
The Roman name for Hephaestus is Vulcan. He's the god of fire, and he's a great blacksmith. The greatest thing you have on stage is the other actor.
I don't get extra pay for this.
Thank you. They are entertainment, and they are movies, and you can get involved in it. It kind of gives you a semblance of what live theater used to be when you had audience participation. Yeah, I kind of look like that.
Ghost of Sparta. It is you. Well, well, well. I thought Zeus would have killed you by now.
Daedalus.
Oh, and what does he do?
He's the inventor. He also created the labyrinth.
The labyrinth? Wow. And where is the golf course?
It's really cool. Eat lunch with Malcolm McDowell. You can't beat that.
The ice storm. That will give me the power to bring my son back to me. Where is my boy?
That's awesome.
You bastards!
That was awesome.
That is fabulous. We want to protect it with one more, please.
Oh, we're not going to go protecting all these takes, are we?
Yeah,
Don't
we
tell
are.
me we're going to do 2 fucking takes. Why don't you just use a bit of proper tape? Why do we have to do 2 takes of everything?
Well, because we
Not for protection.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Let us listen to it.
That's nonsense.
And we're going to listen to one line and be right with you.
Okay. You don't mind, right? Because it's really, if I'm in a jag and it's going, it's going.
I hear you. Could we do the line to escape it, please, one
Yes.
more time?
Tell me what you need.
The word catalyst had a little bit of a squirtle to it.
Okay.
Okay? When you're ready?
Okay. To escape it, we must assemble it.
Actors are so varied and so different in the way they work, and to find what that key in there is and unlock that door with them and then be able to play is really a challenge and a kick at the same time.
He said that if I took the liquid fire and the sling, oh, my boy, oh, my child.
You know, I actually like that. That's different than what we thought.
Terrific, thank you.
I like it.
Vengeance on the king of gods. You'll need an army of gods. And weapons. Of course, weapons. I could build. I could use the fire of Hades. Wait, please. Please, wait. Free me. Free me from my torture.
We're good. We're good.
Thank you, Spot. Thanks, Barton. I say, oh boy. Thanks so much.
Cheers, sir.
I say squassa.
We're not used to people coming in here and nailing it, so, like, basically knocking it out of the park like this. So
Oh, really?
we had more time, so.
Well, no, okay. Well, listen, I just thought, oh my God, I thought I had reams and reams and I had to do everything twice. It was like, oh my God, if you've got it, right?
Right. Yeah, we got some great stuff.
Great.
It's fantastic.
Terrific.
Good.
Thank you. My pleasure. To work with Malcolm McDowell and Rip Torn in the same day.
Same day, yeah.
Pretty wild experience.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to me, too, the different acting styles, because Malcolm McDowell is very much the Royal Shakespeare Company, and it comes in, you know, word for word like that. And Rip Torn is more of the old actor's studio, and he's a little bit up and down and nowhere, but out of that comes a gold of its own kind.
There's an extra level of dimension and texture that we got to them that's just through the fact that they're fucking good actors.
Now that we've gotten the recording part of it down, my stress level has decreased a great deal.
Now you can have a glass of wine.
Now I can have a glass of wine.
You are the reason I live in torment.
He told me he would kill you.
He can't. Perhaps he did allow me to kill the Nemean lion, but he made your name known amongst the people. A fierce warrior, a killer made a hero, a man made a god. But you, what have you done with my child? My boy, where is my boy? Your son is dead, Davis. My boy, my child, no, no, no!
Could be my one and only. I can be your one. Come on, let's take it slowly.